So my next guest today is Jason Sciberas. He is the president of Saline Lectronics, which is part of the Emerald Group. So nice to see you again, Jason.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming in. Tell me what some of the latest things that have been happening within Saline.
Well, we're continuing our journey down Industry 4.0, finding ways to automate. Workers and labor is becoming more and more expensive, harder and harder to get. So continuing down the path of finding ways to automate our factory. Now that we're part of the Emerald family, we've been able to get the groups together, start to figure out what everybody's doing well, and start to leverage some of those best practices across the organization.
Right. Okay. So you're basically doing an audit of the companies within the group to see what the strengths are. Anybody who's got some automation implemented, and then try and see if you can cross-pollinate that across the other companies.
There's 5 facilities. They have all done great things for many years, 20 plus years on each of the facilities. And so everybody's been doing something very, very well and trying to figure out how we can leverage those synergies across multiple factories to continue to find ways to improve as our customers are demanding.
Right. So where have you found where have you found the strengths, and where have you found the bits that you need to work on?
Well, there's lots of pieces. One of the things that we've been able to do is starting to get AOI to run more, whereas a Tier 3 contract manufacturer, we're much lower volumes. And so getting things optimized the way the Tier 1 guys are able to do was something that was much more challenging in the past. And now the software and the equipment has gotten so much better that we're able to optimize boards and processes across a much smaller volume of boards than we ever have in the past. And so we have our AOIs running, instead of somebody sitting there at the AOI machines all day now, the machines are programmed relatively well enough that they just run across, go right into a cassette, no human hands have to touch them.
Right, that's great. And are your systems, are they optimized across, are they integrated with CFX, or are you planning to bring CFX into the factory?
So far, we haven't needed to go down the CFX route. We have a great MES system at every single one of the facilities, and we've been using the MES systems as our language to get between the different machines. But we're definitely keeping an eye on it to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it's all going to go that way, and this is one of the problems. A lot of these smaller Tier 3, contract manufacturers have got their own software, which they guard very jealously and look at it as their IP. But the truth is, to be able to move forward onto the new systems that are coming in, there's going to have to be some standardization there.
I could see it, and so to leverage the massive amounts of data that everybody is gathering at all times and being able to display it in a way that's actually usable, or even better, getting it to an automated point where the AI is making the decisions so you don't need people, you're going to need that communication path. So far, the MES systems have gotten us there, but I am sure as it gets more and more complicated, those needs are going to pop up.
Right. And so what's your approach then going to be with regards to your production managers, for example? I mean, are you going to have to upskill them to work more with data, or are you looking to bring in a separate skill set, a data analyzer?
So one of the things that I think Emerald's doing so well is we're not forcing anything on any of the sites. So these are companies that have been around decades, that do things very well. So we'll offer suggestions, we'll give them some best practices, but they're using the equipment and the processes that make sense for them. We're just going to try to help figure out how to tweak it at each place to make it a little bit better.
Right. Okay. So you're going to take it a step at a time, but
Gotta be very careful you don't kill that special sauce, right? These are companies that have been a long time.
I totally understand that, but I think the problem is that with systems that are coming into the market, they're very data rich.
Sure.
And to be able to harness that and use it to optimize your process, you need someone who's going to be able to understand that and boil that data down into something that's actionable and usable.
Absolutely. Presenting it in a way that the user can do something about. We don't want data that takes 10 years to put together. So making it simple and easy for these very smart people to do what they need to do is a huge part of our approach.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the inspection side. That's been the first sort of area that you've approached to try and automate a bit more.
Yeah.
Are you doing that also between the SBI and the printer? Are you
The SPI and the printer is a good piece of it. We're even doing some non-traditional places. We're all coming out of this supply chain crisis. And so how do you automate the front end of the process? And we've got some great quoting partners that we've been working with, CalcuQuote, and trying to figure out how to leverage that partnership to be able to find the parts faster, buy the parts faster at the best possible price. The entire process is being analyzed.
Right. Right. No, I think CalcuQuote is an excellent system for being able to source components and track them in the supply chain. Then when it comes into the factory, though, you've got the whole materials management system that you need to optimize so that you're reducing machine downtime. Because that's the other big hidden cost in every factory. I mean, you can tell a lot of these factories, the machines are sitting idle half the time. So you need to, the more uptime you have.
It's a big piece of it. We've been partners with Kajiscan for many years now. So they've helped us level what we call the low-level warning system. And so the low-level warning system allows us to realize when our machines are going to run out of parts before they run out of parts. And so really optimizing that with water spiders that bring the parts to the machines when they need them. It's a big part of how we optimize our OEE.
Right, definitely. Yeah. And then component counters to check so you've got a real handle on what you've got.
Well, you're always improving, right? We're a work in progress, but the component counters have been very helpful. We partnered with the Nordson component counter, and it talks directly to the Kajiscan system. So as soon as we update something, the Kajiscan system updates the part counts, and having that real-time information is super valuable.
Right. That's great. So are you seeing, talking on the wider business level, you're very busy at the moment, which is understandable, most companies are. Are you seeing an increase in business coming back to the US?
Yeah, that's very exciting. We've landed quite a few projects that used to be over in China, and now they're moving back to the United States for a wide variety of reasons. And they're realizing that there's a lot that you can do here in the United States, and we're taking as much advantage of that as we can.
Absolutely. Well, it makes absolutely no sense to be making something and shipping it halfway across the world to the end user.
The shipping costs have gotten so expensive. You throw in the tariffs. There's a lot of reasons, and it's nice to see the onshoring.
Yeah. Well, it's great to hear that you're continuing to grow and exploring all these new automation and digitization systems out there.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It is. So
what a great time to be in our industry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, look forward to hearing, catching up with you the next time, and expecting to hear of some major advances.
All right. Thank you, Trevor.
Okay. Thank you for coming in today.
At Kaizen, we know it's the science that makes the difference. The right solutions happen when you care enough to ask the right questions. And we understand that your performance is directly related to ours. Science knows why it works, care knows why it's important.